Well, let's continue to pray for all of those in those places. Afghanistan, for those in Haiti, and for those that have been in the path of the storm Ida, and that you'll continue to pray for those situations as they're far from being over. But we want to continue to study the book of Genesis, the book of beginnings, not the beginning of God, but the beginning of our universe, our world, this earth. And we've been looking at some phrases that are repeating themselves over and over again. God said, that is, that he spoke into existence the things that we know, and that it is good. He's seen that his creation is good. We've also noticed that he has made a point of saying it was morning, it was evening, and it was a day, to tell us these are literal days. Literal days. He'd already flung into space the greater light and the lesser light, the sun and the moon, to give light to the earth. And it was a way of measuring time, not only in days, but in months, which we all know today. That's exactly how we watch for days and months. We see moons change and their appearance, and we recognize those are the passing of months. So today we want to continue our study in the book of Genesis in chapter 1, recognizing that he created, showing that he was sovereign. He created in order to show us that there's a literal day and a literal night, and he created in the right sequence so that life could be sustained. Things that probably weren't known for a long time in science, and yet are recorded here for us in the Bible history. Now, the Bible's not a history book. It's not a science book. But it does not contradict science, or does it contradict history. As a matter of fact, it brings greater credibility than what many have speculated about history and science. So as we look today at chapter 1, verses 20 through 23, we see his creation account continue. Yesterday, when he flung all of the stars into space and put them in perfect orbit and put them into perfect order, we saw that he said it was good, and we know that the likelihood of being able to do that by chance are almost non-existent today. And we also saw that he said that was the end of day 4. Today we look at another day in his creation. So let's take a look at our text for today. Then God said, "Let the waters teem with the swarms of living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth and the open expanse of the heavens." God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarm after their kind, and every winged bird after its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the waters in the sea, and let the birds multiply on the earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, and it's a 5th day. So now we've introduced a new phrase. Did you notice it? Did you hear it? Do you understand what he was saying? He said he created them after their own kind. And when they multiply after their own kind. That completely destroys the idea of evolution. Now, I don't mean that we're not evolving in some ways. Yes, my little toe is getting littler than a man of hundreds of years ago when he walked barefooted, and when his toes got more use than my toes get because they're inside shoes. Are we getting to be taller as a people? I think that's happening as well. We're certainly getting heavier. Now I've gone from preaching to meddling, haven't I? Well, today's creation has got to be a joy to an awful lot of you that love to fish, because God took and put fish in the sea, and he told them to multiply. And although man has overfished the seas, there's still a lot of fish in the sea. There's still a lot to be caught in the lakes and the streams. And man has smartened up a little bit, and they're starting to preserve more of the fish. There's more catch and release fishing than there's ever been before. There's more actual hatcheries where fish are deliberately bred, and they are then introduced into the streams and the lakes to replenish those that are caught out. But all of you fisher people that like to fish, you ought to be thankful that God created the fish. And I think it's also very interesting to see after their own kind is a very clear statement that although there may be common structures in some of the animals that he created them uniquely different. And that again goes against the theory of evolution, of evolving from a plasma cell or from swirling gas masses into the complex beings that we are. I think it's very, very important, as Arthur Crawford and as Dr. Fish and Dr. Gish and some of the creation specialists have pointed out, that just because we have bolts and nuts in a Model A doesn't mean that a Model A evolved into a 727 jet. It's just that we use common structures, but not that one evolved into the other. And yes, there are common structures between a frog. I remember dissecting those in science biology class. Common structures to what man has, but that doesn't mean that we evolved from a frog or from a monkey or from anything else. But God created after its own kind, and he certainly uniquely created man with an ability to think and to reason and to create and to learn from past experiences. And I hope that you have. I hope that you realize that God blesses righteousness, and he has a price that you have to pay for unrighteousness. Yes, God created, and here we are, only 5 days into creation, and look at all the wonderful things that he has created, all of the beauty and all of the joy that we get from his creation. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a wonderful day.